Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. Today's video is going to be my update for my Project Huda Beauty, and this is going to be the update of the progress I made in April. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is like the least exciting update that I have had, which is pretty much the same thing I said about my Project Pan update. I just didn't really see a lot of progress in it. And honestly, I was just wanting to reach for other things. I'm not going to force myself to reach for my Huda palettes, but if you're not familiar with my Project Huda Beauty, I will have that intro video linked in the eye and down below for you. But essentially, I just picked some shades from my Huda palettes. These are the 3 that I own that I'm focusing on trying to hit pan on. It's inspired because I'm replacing this palette in July. It's just old, needs to be replaced, and I just wanted to get as much use out of the original one that I have as possible. But overall, other than just like the specific shades I'm focusing on, I'm just trying to use them in general more. So that's the gist of it. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I didn't have any particular shades rolled into this nude light palette, but I did say that I thought I would hit pan in the deep brown shade. I actually didn't. So I feel like this is a little bit more of like a warm tone. And so when I'm using it with more of like purpley sort of pink shades that I have from the other 2 palettes, I just wasn't really wanting to reach for it. And I've been doing a lot of like really light looks. I did forget to mention, but if you do notice, my description box today is not going to list the items that I'm wearing on my face. It's because I have some new makeup on. I really don't want to ruin that for you guys. I did film this look though, so if you want to see it, stay tuned, subscribe, and turn on the bell because it's going to be coming. This is going to be the look from part 1 of trying new makeup, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But I have just been wanting some like lighter kind of like airy looks, especially for spring, so this is, for some reason, I haven't been really reaching for it. So really no new updates here. Only have reached into this a handful of times over the last month, but I'm sure I will eventually hit pan in the last shade of that palette. Kind of the same story. We have no new updates with this one either. I actually really thought, no, it's not. Okay. I thought I had like a little bitty baby pan in this one here. I don't think it's pan. Probably like one more use I'll have pan in this, but I have been actually really loving the shade Supermoon. In the past, I'd only ever used this to like top other looks or use it as inner corner highlight, but I have been using this over the lid a lot, a couple of times, but I really like it. I also tried to reach into the shade Crash, which is one that we had rolled in, but that didn't really turn out to be anything. I also feel like I don't really have any pictures from the last month of my makeup, maybe just one. If I do, I'll insert them here, but I'm sorry if I don't really have a lot. I just wasn't really feeling like super inspired by these tones last month. I was really wanting to use a lot of warm tones, which is not like me at all. This is like the first time in a long time I've ever been into warm tones, so I've just been kind of like leaning into it and reaching for whatever I feel like. But yeah, we also just don't have any new updates in this palette. So I'm hoping in the next month I will see 2 new pans. I'm anticipating for sure seeing one in Supermoon, and then also I feel like I'll see one in Off Balance. This one is not in my project pan specifically, but it's the closest one to having pan in it. I don't know that I'll get to have pan in the shade called Crash this month, but that would be nice too. We'll see how it goes, but everything's still the same in this one too, just some steady progress. Now in this last palette, this is the new Nudes palette. I do feel like I've had a couple of dips in, especially this shade called Daydream, a little bit in Crave, but mostly in Daydream. And then also, I feel like I can see some use in the shade Tickle and Play. And Tease is actually getting a pretty dang good dip in it, which makes me really, really happy. I really need to use the shade Teddy more too. This is really pretty. I really like this palette. I feel like it's underrated in the sense of, when's the last time I heard anyone talk about this palette other than Katie on Skincare Hype on Instagram? She's the one that actually influenced me to buy this palette. Other than her, I feel like I don't ever hear anyone talk about it. But anyways, I do feel like I have some pretty good usage on this palette. I'm going to put some close-up photos, but you guys know I have the shade Tease, Tickle, Daydream, and Crave in this project officially, but honestly, the shade Tease has even a bigger dip than I had realized, which makes me really happy. I probably won't have pan in it anytime soon, but just to see some usage in it is really encouraging. So I feel like this is the fastest video that I've ever filmed, but that's the update part. And then I do want to kind of like chat about the next month because I'm feeling a little bit burnt out on these sort of shades. My goal over the next month is to reach for these. And I feel like a little bit creator's block, I guess, because I feel like I'm reaching into the same shades because I've put 6 in the palette rotation. So actually for the next month, I think I'm just going to set the goal to focus on the palette in general. If I want to reach for the shades that are in the project specifically, I will, but I really just want to reach for the palettes in general, and specifically I want to reach for the Mercury Retrograde palette a little bit more. I'm going to set the goal for myself to hit pan in 2 shades. Something very important to note, however, is I will not just dig into a shade just to hit pan. So while I'm saying I'm setting the goal to hit pan in 2 shades, what I mean by that is I want to genuinely reach into the shades enough to warrant hitting pan. And by doing that, I will probably reach into the shades Supermoon, Crash, and Off Balance the most because they are the closest to having pan. And that is my goal with this palette over the next 2 months before I retire it into my makeup memory box and start my new one. So I would realistically like to see 3 to 4 more pans in this palette before I retire it. And I feel like I just want to reach for the shades that I enjoy the most. So I'm going to take the limitations off of myself for this project because we are nearing the end, realistically. Today is also May 7th when I'm filming this, and because I wanted my pictures to be like genuinely April's update, I actually haven't reached for these palettes in the last week. I'm also going on vacation for a little bit in this month, and I doubt I'm going to be taking these just because I think I want to take a little break from them, try something new, and take a new palette with me on vacation. I'm probably realistically only going to be using these palettes for about 2 weeks in the next month. So I think the 2 pans in 2 weeks is realistic only because I'm so close to having pan in 2 of these shades already that I think I could do that. Especially because the shade Off Balance in the crease and then topping it with Supermoon is the easiest look ever. I mean, I just feel like it's a no-brainer to just pair the 2 of these together for a couple of days. I would really enjoy that look, so it's just something I'm going to keep in mind. But I feel like if I can hit pan in these 2 shades, I will be very happy, even if I don't reach for anything else in the palette. That way it's just encouraging me to reach for it in general, but I can just use whatever I want to, and that's kind of like where the direction is heading, especially just for this next month. And then I'm kind of considering doing like a 1 week 3 palettes sort of thing where I only reach for these palettes in June. Let me know like what kind of variation of that video you would like to see. I'm just going to put it out there. I do not want to do like a 1 month solely using these because I just feel like I will feel exhausted by them because I kind of already do just a little bit. I definitely think 6 months is like a sweet spot for me to use some palettes. Maybe even if I did like every 4 months, have like a different sort of project going like that, because I actually really have loved Project Huda Beauty. This has really made me fall back in love with these palettes. Even though I'm saying I'm a little bit burnt out, I think that that's normal. I do have a whole other collection, you know, of palettes, and there's some that I feel like I just haven't reached for. So I definitely think that I want to kind of continue this sort of series. I don't know if I'll keep doing it with one brand or maybe like pick a neutral and a colorful palette to focus on or something, but I really do enjoy this project. I'm going to keep doing it through the end of June. I like it enough to do that, but I'm just going to switch it up a little bit for May, and then we will kind of regroup at the end of the month and chat about how we might go out with a bang for June. I think that that would be a lot of fun. So let me know if there are any video ideas that you want to see me do in June, specifically with these palettes. And I'm mostly wanting to focus on Mercury Retrograde, but maybe I could do like a 1 week 1 palette with this. Just let me know, like, what are you guys thinking? Because I'm kind of toying with the idea of doing something a little bit more special for June because it will be the last month of the project. So sorry today's update was a little bit more on the boring side, but I feel like we have to have those to get through to some other ones. I kind of expected that, considering that almost all the shades are coming from this palette, which is pretty new to my collection. So yeah, I'm okay with this update. I feel like taking a little bit of a break over the last month from them was probably really good for me. I do actually want to reach into them again, so I'm excited to use them in the next couple of weeks. throughout the rest of the month, and I will keep you guys posted on my progress. So thank you guys so much for watching this update video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, even though it was a little bit more boring. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!